Dr. Katia Reinert serves as a Health Ministries Director for the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and she made a public statement that is very shocking and offensive, and it needs to be addressed. Dr. Reinert did publicly state that it is okay to deliberately attack and violently kill little children. Her presentation is online, and we are going to listen to her say this. Now, to be fair, I did contact Dr. Reinert before making this video, and she says that I am misquoting her. So in this video, we are going to listen to what she said. You can listen to it. I believe she is wrong in trying to put a spin on it, but you can look at the evidence and you can be the judge for yourself. For those who do not know, Dr. Reinert is an official representative of the Adventist Church, which holds in their official fundamental beliefs right here that the Bible is authoritative, and also here that one becomes truly human from the moment of conception. This is the official belief of the Adventist Church, to which Dr. Reinert is obligated to accurately represent. In a presentation provided by the church and posted online here, she makes a statement about abortion that is very disturbing, because Adventists believe that the Bible is authoritative, and since the Bible defines the unborn as children, sons, babies, and brothers from the moment of conception, then by definition, the unborn child is protected by the sixth commandment. For those who may not be aware, abortion is a euphemism for the medical surgical procedure of violently destroying an unborn child, which, as you see here, is often performed by sticking steel surgical pliers into a mother's womb and tearing the arms and legs off a little boy or girl, and then crushing their skull while the child is still alive. It is to this procedure that Dr. Reinert is referring to when she makes her statement. Before we listen to her statement, it is important to remember that the word reproductive literally means, the medical definition is, the act or process of reproducing, specifically the process by which plants and animals give rise to offspring or produce a new individual, or for English language learners, it is the process that produces babies. According to the true textbook definition, intentional abortion is never and can never be reproductive because it does not produce. The purpose of deliberate abortion is to kill the child, so it is not accurate nor true to describe killing an unborn child as reproductive. Let's listen.
We talked about that. We talked about reproductive and sexual health is another area that we need to help people with. And I would encourage you to get familiar with the guidelines and the statements that the church has about abortion, about contraception, and some of these important reproductive health issues. Many times our health directors don't know what the church stance is on those. We do have a stance on that, very balanced one, and it's on the GC website. It's also on our NAD Health Ministries website.
That is outrageous. Dr. Reinert is an official representative of our church, and she openly tells people within our church that killing a child is reproductive. That is absolutely false. That is wrong and misleading. There is no science, no logic, and no truth to that whatsoever. Second, and more importantly, this right here is the most important statement. Dr. Reinert openly teaches that the Adventist guidelines on killing children in their mother's womb is perfectly okay and justified. In her words, it is balanced. I'll be sending this video directly to you, Dr. Reinert. Since you made this public statement, would you please produce the evidence that intentionally killing a little boy or girl is balanced? We Adventists believe the Bible is authoritative. Where is the biblical evidence for the authority to deliberately kill an innocent little child? The guidelines on abortion list 5 exceptions to save a mother's life, mother's health, rape, incest, or kill disabled or handicapped children with congenital deformity. In cases of a mother's physical life, the intent of the physician is to save both lives of the mother and child, but often this is not successful. This is not intentional. The other 4 are deliberate and intentional. Where is the authority for you to make a statement as outrageous and disgusting that intentionally and violently killing a helpless little child is balanced? I, Andrew, pro-life Michelle, a member of the Adventist Church, do openly and publicly reject this gross and reprehensible statement. Dr. Reinert, you have a PhD with a focus in public health and the treatment of vulnerable populations and violence. The unborn child is the most helpless and vulnerable individual on this entire planet. How in good conscience can you stand up there as our Director of Health and publicly justify violence against children as balanced? That is sick. There are no excuses. Someone of your official position and education is obligated to be truthful and honest. Where is the evidence for your statement? The official World Church Statement on Euthanasia states that we Adventists are officially and publicly opposed to the intentional taking of a human life, even when they are sick or suffering? How can you, as our official representative, teach to members of our own church that it is balanced to intentionally kill an innocent little boy or girl? Your statement is in direct opposition to our church's fundamental beliefs, and it is nasty and terribly offensive. Our Adventist church has taken a very public stand regarding violence against men, women, and children. There are no circumstances whatsoever when it is acceptable, appropriate, or balanced to violently kill children. Your own Health Ministries says right here that we should support anti-smoking legislation to protect unborn children from the effects of smoking. How can you say it's wrong to smoke a cigarette, but it's balanced to deliberately murder a child? You have, in your official position, made public statements in direct opposition to the official beliefs of our church, and your outrageous and misleading statements were published to the entire world, and as such must be addressed publicly. We look forward to your public and immediate response. Finally, as a note, I did email Dr. Reinert several times prior to making this video. She did confirm that she has a PhD from Johns Hopkins focusing on abuse and violence towards children. She even told me, as a church leader and more importantly as an SDA Christian and child of God, I see my duty to uphold the biblical principle we embrace as Adventists and would never say or teach any information against these beliefs. This woman has a PhD in violence against children, claims to support ending violence against children, acknowledges she is a church leader, and claims she would never say or teach anything against our beliefs. Yet we have her on record stating that the pro-violence, pro-abortion, pro-murder position of the church is balanced. I specifically asked several questions showing that this is not true. I specifically asked her to define the word health in the guidelines. She refused to answer any questions, and she refused to even provide a definition for the word health, because everyone watching this video knows full well that this is the loophole, and she refuses to be honest and address this. Instead, her only response was to completely ignore her statements, ignore my questions, and ask me personally who I was. I obliged and gave multiple evidences that I am a very supportive member of the Adventist Church. Dr. Reinert publicly teaches members of our own church that it is okay to murder innocent children, and she refuses to provide so much as a single speck of evidence to support her statements. This is gross and reprehensible. The leaders are responsible not only for their own unsanctified mistakes, but for the mistakes of those who follow their example. This abortionist here said that after tearing off the arms and legs, she likes to rip the spine out of the child's back. The only difference between rapists, pedophiles, and abortionists is that an abortionist never lets their victim live. If someone wants to deliberately, violently rape a child, then that is wrong. But if someone wants to deliberately, violently attack and murder a child, then Dr. Katia Reinert says that's okay. If you want to tear the spine out of the back of a little boy or girl, then Dr. Reinert, out of her own mouth, says that's balanced. Every person watching this video knows full well that if she had said there are exceptional circumstances to violently rape a child until they are bleeding, then she would have been immediately fired and publicly condemned. But because she said there are exceptional circumstances to torture and murder children, that's okay. According to leadership of the Adventist Church, if you rape a child, that's bad. But if you violently and brutally murder a helpless little child, oh, that's okay. That's balanced.